Hello everybody, me again. Good morning or good evening. A couple of thoughts or reflections on some comments that some people seem to be slightly concerned that they're not working on human rights projects directly with grantees. Maybe somebody is working in administration or procurement or IT or some kind of support service. Okay, first of all, a project is a project is a project. And by this, I mean that we're trying to achieve something in a certain time frame with some resources, even if that is just time. And I started working in project management because my boss told me to get something done within a certain time frame, and here, have some resources. That said, there is a wonderful wealth of different sorts of projects in this course. It's fantastic. Some of you are working on internal projects, some of you are working on business change projects, some of you are working on a huge range of different types of projects with your grantees. So that's phenomenal. So how do I square that variety with saying a project is a project is a project? So what I mean by this is that to get the projects to be more efficient, more effective, we've got to find ways and take the tools and make those tools work for us. The way I express this is that the tools work for you. You don't work for the tools. And that means adapting, modifying, tailoring, and prioritizing. I always like the tailoring example because we've all got different bodies, and if I buy a jacket in the shop, I'll get the best fit possible. But if I go to a tailor and the tailor measures me and makes the jacket, it will be a perfect fit. Well, that's your role going forward with all of these tools. And I say prioritize because there is no way on earth you could apply all of the tools, all of the material that's in this course. It would be massive overkill, and many of your projects might not require it. So I think as you go through the course, you're looking for some of the ideas, the tools, something that you feel, that could be useful. Now that might be for your internal administrative project, it might be for your business change project, or maybe you're encouraging your grantees to use some of the tools, or in some of your processes around grantee management. It doesn't matter. That tool might be useful. Okay. Then the next question is, can I use that tool as it is, or do I need to adapt it or modify it in some way? How am I going to start? Do I need to tell other people? Do I just start by myself? Can I integrate it into an existing process like a team meeting? So these are all the questions to be asking yourselves about this process of adapting, modifying, and prioritizing the tools. And even when you look at something like a logical framework, so that's a tool that, yes, that's very good at making this alignment between your activities and your outputs and the outcomes and that big goal around, say, human rights or whatever it is you're doing. However, two things. First of all, if you're working on more internal type projects, well, maybe you focus more at the bottom half of the log frame, which is just that relationship between inputs, activities, and outputs. That might be enough. Fantastic. That's great. Use it in whatever way is helpful. Secondly, and I'll leave you with this thought, I was recently asked to talk about log frames at a private sector, one of the networking groups around project management here in the UK. And they loved it because in the private sector, there aren't really very many tools like this. And they said that so often they struggle with projects because they're not able to show the linkage between the work that is being done and the change that is required. In the private sector, it's called business benefits realization. Okay, whatever. It's about a change. So, for example, you introduce a new IT system. Why? Well, not to introduce a system, but because you want people to work in a different way, more effectively, more efficiently, or whatever. However, if we start with that point of wanting that change in behavior and work back, then we will make sure that we include not just the systems work, but the right type of training, accompaniment, coaching, everything we need to get that behavior change. So logical frameworks can be useful in a lot of different ways, not only for the work that's being done in the field with human rights, with grantees, looking at social change. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, but please, please, please remember that you can take any tool and it's about finding ways to apply it in whatever helps you, because that in the end is what really matters. Bye for now.